All right. Welcome to the 740 show, episode 12 tonight. And we are going to go around the panel here and see what everybody's up to. First in tonight, we got Matt from RTT Guns and Gear. What's going on, brother?
How's it going, man?
Good, man.
Appreciate you having me on. It's always a good time.
Yeah, glad kind of came up with this topic we're going to talk about kind of last minute. So
strippers and pizza, right?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay, that's what you told me to email. So if it's not strippers and pizza, I'm out.
I clickbaited you, didn't I?
Yeah.
All right. Next in, we got Gizzard Gary. What's going on, Gary?
Hey, man, just living a dream here. Thanks for having me on the panel.
Well, we're glad to have you. And then next in, we got Hillbilly Up. What's going on, Hillbilly?
Hey, buddy. Good to see everybody tonight. Well, appreciate you inviting me on, buddy. Looks like a good time.
Yeah, good to have you on. All right, let's rip down the side chat here real quick. Let's see who all's out there. Tony was first in tonight. Lakeview Outdoors. Buck is out there. The Tactical Fud. Woods is with us tonight. Good to have Woods out there hanging out with us. Gary's out there and on the panel. Our Attacking Daughters is here. Alaska One Andy is with us. Let's see, Fluffy 10mm Jeep guy is here. Rich White is here. And Matt is out there and on the panel. Hillbilly is out there and on the panel. Two Live Moo is with us. Dale Pogue is out there. Colt 1927 is with us. Watching on Hillbilly's side. Taylor, I always mess this up. ID1 is with us tonight, or LD1, one of the two. Floridian is out there. Rich B is here. Boomstick is out there. Defense Dad is with us. And I think that's all we got right now. We'll have more coming in. Well, before we hit off on the topic, we'll kind of talk about what we've been up to this week. I'll kick this off. I have had a pretty awesome week. I told everybody about it last night and Matt, but last week I won a gun safe. So one of my customers was having a raffle, $10 ticket, and I bought one. And they called me last week, and I got a nice 24 gun safe. A little smaller than the other two I have, but the other two that I have were getting pretty full. So that was nice to have that come along. I believe it's it's nothing top tier or anything. It's a Sports-A-Field, I guess. I looked it up online. It's like $650 safe. So pretty happy with that. And then my major screw up of the week, I loaded 500 rounds of 9mm, and somehow a small rifle Magnum primer tray got mixed in with my small pistol primers. And I was loading 50 at a time, and then I was throwing them in a ammo can. And I didn't catch it until about 150 rounds later, and I just happened to look down in the trash can, and I saw small rifle Magnum primers. And I'm like, that whole batch of ammo is ruined now. So, and I think I was about 375 rounds in before I caught it. So basically I had to pull 375 9mm bullets because.
All right. Educate me. Why is that a problem?
So it's not dangerous. It's just they won't go off. Like the small rifle Magnum primer is so hard that a striker fire gun 100% won't set it off. You might get lucky and be able to trip one with a revolver, but even my hammer fire guns won't set them off. And the only reason I know this was because a couple of years ago I actually did a test because people during the primer shortage, they wanted to know if small rifle Magnum primers would work in a handgun. And I loaded up 100 of them and I took them to the range and tested them out in like a dozen different guns, and they're not going to go bang. So And the problem is there's really no way to tell because they were all CCI, so they were all the same color. And there's somebody out in the side chat might be like, "Oh, there's a test you can do to figure out which ones are which." But yeah, so I've pulled, I think, 200 of them so far. I got about another 150, 175 to go. And then
you can tell the difference when you stick them in the gun. So
yeah,
you'll be able to know.
and had fun and started popping 300 and some rounds off. And I could have found them that way, but then all the ammo would be wasted too. So
yeah.
So that was a fun one. That's why you pay attention in the reloading room. So, and so anything. Go ahead.
You had your mind on strippers and pizza.
That's right.
I feel you, bro. I mean, I get it.
Yeah. So yeah, that was that sucked. That sucked because I was almost done and ready to move on to something else. So, yeah. Backwards. Matt, anything exciting going on with you this week? Anything cool you've been testing out or anything?
Oh yeah. So I just published the Frontline, the Anderson Manufacturing Frontline 11.5 video 3 hours ago. Today, and of course earlier this week on Monday, I did the Lone Wolf Dust 19 video, which will play into tonight's show later. And this weekend I'll be doing the finished recording. Oh yeah, Mario. Oh yeah. I'll be doing the recording for the Ross Martin RM1C, but some videos that I have coming up just off the top of my head is a Savior rifle bag, a helmet light from Next Torch. What the hell else is there? The AR500 P3 polyethylene level 3 plates, 2.8 pounds a plate. Really cool plates. Body armor test. And I think that's about it right now. And I told you about the other rifle case video that I'm doing, but I'm not going to spoil what that's going to be.
Yeah, we don't want to spoil that. That's going to be awesome. So
yeah.
Now, if you are a member of Matt's channel, you would actually have got to see all those videos he talked about already because I sat and watched them all today. So, before we move on to Gary, let's say hi to a few more people who have jumped in out there. Average Joe Arms is with us. Good to have him out there. Mario Mosen is out there with hey. And Garage Guy 879 is with us. And one of my channel members, Ron Wayne, is out there. Good to see you, Ron. And that is it. Gary, got anything cool you've been doing this week?
Besides getting my taxes done, you mean?
Oh, God. Matt and I were talking about that in the back chat.
Yeah,
awful.
2 days. But anyway, I got the new Civivi knife video for this month, and that released a couple days ago. It's doing fairly well out there. Plus, knife shorts every day and stuff like that. And, of course, my live stream tomorrow night, 9 o'clock. So it's pretty much the things I got going on, trying to keep everything going. Now that taxes are behind me, we can ease up and start enjoying this stuff again.
Yeah, I deposited all my money today to pay for the old IRS. So, all right, Hillbilly. Well, Hillbilly, you didn't have to do that, man. That's awesome.
Well, I was glad to see you got your membership going again. So that's
I kind of redid all that, and I'm happy with it now. So very
good.
Yeah, we'll get some more people built up in there, and then we'll start doing some special stuff like you and Gary are doing. So Hillbilly, you put out a really good video today on a new optic. What else you been up to?
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Yeah, it's just Lucial or Oak. I'm sorry, I get those mixed up. We put out a video today on that, and actually pretty good optic. I mean, I had watched your videos on it, and I liked it, and so yeah, pretty good optic, I think. And so anyway, that's about all I got going on right now, other than this weekend, Guns Bearing Therapy. But yeah, I got actually some unboxing. I think a couple unboxing videos to do. So
Joe, I am actually as soon as we get done tonight, I'm going to make the last payment on it and get that thing on the way. Because even though I had to give the federal government tons of money today, the state actually gave me some money back.
Yeah, I had that same deal.
I wish the margins would have been a little closer there.
It wasn't anywhere near as much as I paid in. No.
Oh, Matt, thanks, man. You didn't have to do that. That's awesome. I don't even know how you get one of these channel memberships after you gift one, but
so when I am not in here, right? Anytime I get a chance to watch your live streams, right? And I'm out in the chat room, I always donate, or I try to always donate. And I do that for two reasons. Number one, it's not it's not so you'll read my comment. It's not, any of that stuff. It's not for any other reason than I'm hoping to start a trend for that particular live stream, because I know how much money you put into doing videos. I know how much money I put into doing videos. I know how much money generally people that take their channel seriously put into doing videos, and we don't make a positive revenue.
Absolutely not.
We don't make a positive revenue. I mean, there's some people out there that absolutely do, but none of us are likely making a positive revenue. And so I'm hoping that people follow suit when I do that. And if this is a way to make that happen, then awesome. Like if the memberships are a way to make that happen, and whoever becomes a member off of the $5 that or the $10 that Hillbilly just did, or the $10 that I just did, hopefully they continue that membership after their first month.
Yeah. And I mean, that's exactly what you're talking about. That's great stuff, buddy. And I mean, really, I only personally know one person that, was able to quit their job and just live off YouTube, and that's Gizzard Gary.
Well, I retired.
Oh, is that what happened? Okay.
Well, I do have a pension, and I'm getting early Social Security, so I'm not living off YouTube. That's pretty damn.
I know that. I said the way kids over there.
Yeah, like last year, and I can tell people this, it doesn't matter because we're talking about taxes and whatnot. I did my taxes like 2 months ago, 2.5 months ago. But I spent in ammo, Amazon, and SHOT Show alone. Just now the travels for SHOT Show didn't count because they were this year, but purchasing the plane tickets or purchasing the hotel and all that other stuff happened in 2023. I spent $18,000 last year just for YouTube.
Yeah.
And that didn't include food, gas. That didn't include other shows I went to. That didn't include firearms purchases. That didn't include any of that stuff.
Right.
And I didn't make anywhere near enough to cover that.
No. No, I'm very lucky that I'm finally rolling over some pretty a nice little bit of extra income with the affiliate stuff, which is nice. But it's still not even putting a dent in what I'm spending. So, all right, let's say hi to a few other people. Rich White became a member. Very cool. Let's see. Abigail has joined the chat. Good to see Abigail out there. Our Attacking Daughters has become a channel member, it looks like. So has Buck. Misty Mrs. Wayne has joined us. And I think we're all caught up on everybody who has joined. So very cool. Tonight's topic, we're kind of piggybacking off of, well, I don't want to say kind of, we are piggybacking off of Gary's show from Friday night. Gary did a show about Glock clones and how many of them are out there and all that. And I know that I have a couple. I know Matt has some. Hillbilly has a lot of the dagger stuff. And so we're going to kind of just discuss that tonight. And before we do that, Abigail just put the hashtag out there, clone. Do not forget to do that because we are going to be doing a giveaway tonight. And I want to say hi to Val. Curious is out there. So I wanted to do this show for a couple different reasons. One, Gary definitely sparked the conversation. I also have 2 new Kiger frames, and I have not done anything with those yet. And what I kind of want to do tonight is we're going to talk about triggers. We're going to talk about frames, slides, barrels, favorites of ours, things like that. And that's going to kind of, I guess I kind of want to do something with these frames differently than I've done with other clones that I've got in the past. So I know, Matt, you just put out the Lone Wolf Dusk 19 video, which was awesome video. And the gun just seems to be awesome. We'll kind of kick it off. Like, is that your favorite clone yet that you've tested? You're muted, Matt.
For the money, yes.
Yeah.
And it's because it's not the nicest one. It's not the worst one. But what you're getting for the money, because I think a lot of people, maybe not out in the chat room here, but a lot of people in the gun world, they confuse what's best and what's best for the money and what's bad for the money. You can have something that's a good gun that somebody's charging too much for. That doesn't make, that just because it's expensive doesn't mean it's better. And just because it's cheap doesn't mean it's junk. So, yeah, for the money, the Dusk 19 thus far is absolutely the nicest Glock clone I've used. I have shot every Shadow Systems pistol, and they've been okay. And of course, I don't know anything. I haven't compared build quality or longevity yet, but I would pay the $600 for the Dusk 19 before I pay the $900 for the Shadow Systems,
right?
For instance. And then on the other end of that is like the Combat Armory one that I'm testing, that I've been testing for 3 months now or something like that, 2 months now, and have had to completely rebuild just to get it to run right. That's going to be a very long video when that comes out, because I'm going to go through the whole process and all the phone calls and all the testing I've done with Combat Armory over this. But if that gun would have run, the Combat Armory had it run perfect out of the box, I would be dancing in the streets with it, just in hopes that it kills the fucking dagger, because it's only a $220 gun.
Right.
But it didn't. So,
Yeah.
you know,
Mike McClune out there. I'll start with this one. He says, "Is Shadow System worth it, or is it just hype?" I think I like Shadow Systems. They make a great gun, but I don't think that they make a gun that is worth what they ask for it on the price. I don't personally think Shadow System. I think Shadow Systems has one of the worst triggers when it comes to a clone. Most of the ones that I've had that have showed up here, the guys have had me put aftermarket triggers in them. They're very reliable. They're well built, but I mean, in all honesty, I could buy 2 Keigers for the price of the Shadow Systems, and reliability wise, I don't think there's any difference there at all. So yeah, me personally, I think they're overhyped. Matt, what do you think?
Shadow Systems isn't known for being really reliable, though. Like, go look at a bunch. Like, here's a good one right off the top of my head. That subcompact Shadow Systems that they came out with, like the G43X version. Go watch Honest Outlaws videos on it. Problem after problem. Shadow Systems said they fixed it with this part. Problem after problem. I mean, I've never heard reliable and Shadow Systems in the same sentence from anybody that has shot a lot.
See, I've got a lot of trigger time with the DR920, which was a great gun, but it didn't do anything for me that the Kiger doesn't do.
Oh, no, and I'm not saying there's never reliable ones out there. I mean, I
yeah.
You know, I'm not saying like every one of them has problems, but for a $900, $700, $800, $1,000 gun, it should have zero problems.
Yeah.
Or so minimal that people don't know about them. Like they're so, you know, it's so sporadic and so infrequent that nobody's heard of it. But I'm with you. Like I've shot every Shadow Systems pistol. They're nice enough, like to shoot. They got some cool stuff done to them. I do like that Shadow Systems will replace your gun if you have to use yours in a self-defense shooting, and the cops take it.
Yeah,
that's cool, and not taken away from that. But it's not a $900 gun. It's just not.
Yeah. So, Gary, I don't know how much you've shot Shadow. I know you've probably shot them quite a bit at the range days and things like that.
Yeah, I have done that.
Mm-hmm. Did they like blow you away or anything when you?
They were decent, but they didn't, you know, really pique my interest or anything like that. You know, it's like,
yeah,
it's good but not great.
Yeah,
in my opinion.
Real quick before we go to Hillbilly, I want to say hi to West Virginia Guns and Goats. Just joined the chat. Mike McClune is out there. I think we've got everybody else. Hillbilly, have you ever messed around with Shadow Systems guns?
Sorry about that. No, I've not actually shot one. I do have a friend that has one, but he said that he likes it okay, but it's not his favorite pistol. So I kind of thought, well, I don't know if I want to drop that kind of money on one then, you know.
Yeah, they're proud of them, that's for sure. Let's see, RTAC out there said he's working with an SCT frame, combat arms, and daggers and P80s. So, yeah, RTAC does a lot with the Glock stuff. Yes, we are talking Glock clones. Now, Hillbilly, you've been doing a lot with the daggers. And you and I kind of had a discussion about one of the frames, but what's your overall opinion on them?
Oh man, for the money, it really suited me really well. Matter of fact, friends or family that's come over and shot them has either almost every one of them's went in there and bought the S frame full size or the compact, whichever one basically fit their hand or their need, and they just run really good. And there's a lot of good stuff I can say about some of these guns that's clones and stuff. One thing I really love what PSA did is, if you're a Glock person, the difference between a 17 and 19, basically your full size and your compact, you can't swap the slides from one frame to the other. Well, what Dagger did was they made their slide the same length, and it will fit either the compact frame or the full size frame. And that right there was kind of priceless for me, because as we test optics and all that stuff, I mean, you can buy a bare slide, with whatever cut on it you want for different optics, cuts. And then I can swap, I can put, the barrels and everything in there, and then put it on either the compact frame or the large frame, whatever I want to do. It's just so versatile. I mean, I like versatility. I honestly do. So that's just a big plus for me personally. And I'm looking forward to, Bear Creek Arsenal. They're coming out with the new Grizzly. So I'm in line to get one of those. So I'm definitely looking forward to testing that out.
Yeah, we're gonna come back to that Grizzly here in a little bit too. I'm gonna bring some pictures up on the screen, and because I have a feeling that a few of us here on the panel are going to be testing one of those out. So I want to address this Black Rifle Medic out there. He said, I had a lot of daggers, and the only problem I have with them is their magazine releases suck. And that's what I don't like about the dagger, is I do not like the frame. I don't like the way it feels in my hand. The magazine release is awful, especially for quick mag changes and things like that. But then I love the slides. I have the SW3 slide, which I got with the Vortex footprint because I needed it to test. Because every now and then you still get dots sent to I get dots sent to the channel that have the Doctor footprint, which Vortex uses. And I like having that option to be able to go over there and buy a slide that has different cuts. And if you like a certain style of slide they have, which the SW3 would be my favorite, you can get that with an RMR cut or the Doctor cut. I don't know if they have any other ones or not, but
and can I add the suppressor height sides too?
Yeah, and then you can, and they have multiple sight options for them. I mean, you can really get some crazy deals on them things too. If you keep an eye on their website or sign up for their emails. I mean, sometimes getting complete slides, barrels, sights, all for under $200. So, but the frame I'm not a fan of.
Well, the release, I totally agreement with him that mag release, it really does stink. They have some aftermarket ones that's really cheap, and I'm currently just kind of working on one of them that I have to see if I can make it better by not spending any extra money. But I mean, I realize you probably shouldn't have to do that. But one thing about it too, these clones, I just want to throw in real quick is, say for instance, you was pretty interested in getting a fluted barrel or something like that, from Faxon or something. Well, since there's so many, Glocks out there and stuff, especially if you're in the 9mm or whatever, you can get that barrel pretty reasonable, to put into your clone. So that's another big plus with all the accessories.
Yeah. Real quick, I want to say hi to Flying Rich has joined the chat. And I think that is everybody. Oh, Ozart is out there watching on Hillbilly's side. Appreciate you being here. Gary, you have any daggers or experience with the dagger?
No, I don't. I mean, I've seen and handled the daggers, but I've never actually shot one. So everybody's talking about them now, and I'm kind of interested, but don't really have any experience. But then again, I own the Glock 19.
There's no reason to go backwards.
That's kind of what I'm thinking. I already bought it years ago.
So a buddy of mine, good friend of mine that comes out shooting every now and again. Same guy that owns that CZ Scorpion that I reviewed a while back. But he bought a dagger, got it real cheap in some private sale. And my favorite thing about it is the hinge trigger that everybody hated in the MMP, and PSA went, well, let's put that in our gun because that'll be popular.
Yeah, I forgot about the trigger.
Yeah, they basically raided Smith & Wesson's dumpster. And that's why they can make the guns so cheap, because they got the triggers for free and dug them out of everybody's trash.
Yeah. Say hi to MacMan is out there. Good to see you, MacMan. Well, while we're getting into triggers, and this is going to play a part in how I build one of the Keigers. Matt, what's your favorite aftermarket trigger that you've used?
Probably favorite. I can tell you the most reliable trigger that I've used. And that is OE stock Glock. No, the Overwatch trigger. The Overwatch Polydet trigger is a really, really good trigger for the price. There are lighter triggers out there. There are crisper triggers out there, but they also cost significantly more. But yeah, probably Overwatch Precision is it's what's in my carry gun now. It's what I'll end up putting in another frame that I have. But yeah, that's probably, and if I remember correctly, I think it's Overwatch. Apex makes a great trigger too. I don't want to leave them out, but I have less experience with the Apex than I do the Overwatch, because Apex never has a complete trigger in stock. They only have trigger bars and trigger shoes, and the disconnector, or the connector. But if I remember correctly, I think Apex and Overwatch are the only two triggers that have passed enough field testing that they've actually qualified for Leo upgrades for police pistols.
Yeah. Brian Duchesne says, what do you all think of the TSAWS double stack 9mm? Well, we're going to find out next week, Brian, because I should have mine next week. I ended up buying a Night Stalker. So we're going to find out how good it is.
You ever shoot one?
Yeah, I shot it at range day.
Yeah, they shoot real nice.
Yeah, it's I would have to say for the $1,000 and under ones that from my initial impressions of the one I shot, that they're probably the best there is under $1,000. I don't know. The Apollo 11's close. That's a good one too. But yeah, Joe said Apex on my M&P transformed the gun. Yeah, I did. I got an Apex in my M&P. Apex just changes every gun that you put one of their triggers in. It's
Yep.
They don't make a bad trigger.
And if you ever get a chance to talk to, I think his name is Chris, if I remember correctly, from Apex, the owner, he's a hilarious individual. I see him every year at the Arizona Firearms Festival. We sit and shoot the shit for like 45 minutes. And he is a funny, funny dude.
They're an Arizona company, aren't they?
Yeah, they're up in Phoenix.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Yep. So is Timney. Timney's up in Phoenix or just outside of Phoenix. AR 500 is up there. Infinite Defense Targets is up there. Spartan Armor is down here in Tucson. Who else? Jeez. Who else is up there? There's a couple ammo Badlands Munitions is up there. True Shot Gun Club is up there. I know I'm missing some other companies that are right there in the Phoenix area. And I didn't even know this until like 2 or 3 years ago. Like how much gun stuff there is being made up there.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, my favorite Glock trigger I've shot, and this is the Timney, but it just has a whole different feel to it. But the first one that I had here, we put it in a Shadow Systems, and we had a lot of issues with it. It didn't want to work well with that frame. I would like to go that route, but I don't know how well it's going to work with the SCT frame. But maybe I'll get one and just test it out and see what it does. If not, I always have a factory Glock frame I can dump it in. But that was my favorite one. I don't have any experience with Overwatch, but I've never heard anything bad about them either. And I have shot a lot of Glocks with the Apex in it, which is really good. I have a Zev Competition or a Zev Pro, I think is what I have in one of mine Glocks. It's a really good trigger. It's kind of heavy, but it works really well. It's got a nice break, nice short reset on it. But Gary, you got any experience with aftermarket Glock triggers?
Not for Glocks, no.
Yeah.
I do have experience with the Apex because I have one in my P320, but nothing on the Glocks.
Now, I've never shot one in a P320. Did it make a huge difference? I bet it did, didn't it?
Quite a bit. Yeah.
Okay.
That's why that's one of my range toys, I should say.
I've never been a big fan of the stock triggers in any of the 320s I've shot. So that's good to know. Hillbilly, what about you? Got any aftermarket trigger experience, or are you thinking about maybe trying one for the channel in one of your dagger frames?
I would try one. I mean, I'm not like a trigger snob at all, and I get it, but I grew up in the hills, and you just learn to shoot whatever somebody stuck in your hand or whatever whatever you had, and I understand how a good trigger can make the difference. When it comes for me, turning loose another $100 or whatever plus dollars for another trigger, it's just hard for me to do. When if it's not broke, if it ain't broke, why fix it type of mentality. But I understand everything about it, and maybe once I if I go down that rabbit hole of triggers, then I would probably have more of an opinion. And I understand the reset, the pull, I totally understand. I've shot some guns with some nice triggers, and I've also shot some guns that the triggers is way too light for me to be comfortable with. So but I guess I don't have a gun that the trigger's just so bad that I just hate to shoot it. I guess, but I might one of these days, put a different trigger in the um, dagger or something, just to see how it does.
So, Chris, I've been thinking about making this video, and I just don't know how to word it, but it's very much along the lines of what we're talking about right now. So, I don't think there's anybody out there that I saw who's been following my channel long enough to remember these days. But there was a day where I absolutely positively preached stock guns, right? And the video I wanted to make, and I don't really know how to kind of go about it without kind of rambling on, is that changing with the industry is not necessarily a bad thing, because I've changed my view a lot over the years. I mean, we're talking 40 years of shooting, 39 years, 39 years of shooting. And I've been carrying a gun for 20 years or close to 20 years. And my view through training, through using parts, through a number of things have changed my view over time. But back then it was also aftermarket parts weren't what they are today.
Right.
Like when you put a new trigger in your Glock didn't work. If you did, you were lucky if it did. It's the very opposite now. Most popular brands, their stuff works. Stacking tolerances will always be a thing. It doesn't matter how high quality the products are. But you have a much higher probability of those aftermarket parts working today than you did 10 years ago, or even 5 years ago. And I think, like what Hillbilly was saying, I've never had a gun where I just hated the trigger. Like I just couldn't stand the trigger. I don't know. So I've never changed a trigger for that reason. I have stock Glocks still, and I shoot them, love them. My 19X, my favorite gun I have is my 19X. It's all stock. It has close to 20,000 rounds on it, and love that gun. But there's also something to be said for force multipliers. Optics, lights, nicer triggers, shorter resets, things like that, especially if you may ever end up having to use that firearm to defend your life. Good, reliable, force multipliers are something that there should never be such thing as a fair fight. You should never be evenly matched. You should always have the advantage over your adversary. And I think that's one of the things that has changed for me as well, is not only has the parts become more reliable, hell, even PSA can make a gun now that works half the time. Not only are the parts more reliable now, but it's I don't, there's a lot of people that are very much against changing parts out now. And I think some of those people are in the same mindset that I used to be in, which is that, the parts used to make your gun unreliable. And today, assuming you buy decent parts and you know what you're doing, you can build a very, very, very reliable firearm with almost all aftermarket parts.
Yeah. And I want to swing back real quick, because you brought up the word stacking tolerances, and I kind of wanted to touch on this a little bit for somebody out in the side chat or somebody listening to this and replay that's kind of new to guns that doesn't know what the hell is he talking about when you talk about this. Is something that you really run into a lot with the topic we're talking about tonight with Glock clones, especially if you're building one from the frame up. When you start using, if you buy a frame from this company and you buy a slide from this company and you buy a lower parts kit from this company, you you can kind of get into an issue where certain parts aren't going to play well with others. So that's kind of what we were talking. So when you hear that word stacking tolerances, that's what we're talking about. When you start to get into the building of a firearm, there's you can sometimes start mixing and matching parts that just aren't going to play well together. Matt, I'll let you kind of elaborate on that. But
Yeah, so basically you have 5 parts that this part relies on this part, and there's 3 parts between them. And they all have to work in sync. They all have to work correctly together. This part from this manufacturer is built on, say, the far tight or the far loose end of tolerances. The next part is built to the middle part of the tolerances. The next part is also built on the loose end of tolerances. And then the final part is built on the tight end of tolerances. Well, what has happened? You have 2 parts that are on the loose end of tolerances, 1 part that's on the tight end of tolerances. Now you have a gap somewhere. You have a gap somewhere. It's not going to work together, and if it does, it's not going to work very well. They can, if they're all on the tight side of tolerances, you can have problems. If they're all on the loose side of tolerances, you can have problems, because everything has a tolerance. Not everything is just down the middle, and those tolerances may be as much as 1,000th or 2,000ths, but that's what he's talking about. That's what we're talking about when it comes to stacking tolerances, is you have something built on this side, something that's built on this side, and when you put them together, they don't work.
yeah. Real quick, I want to say hi to Mark Jackson has joined the chat. I don't remember if we said hi to Brian Duchesne yet. Brian is out there. The Armsman has joined us. Weston Probst is out there. It was good to have Weston on Gary's panel last night. It was fun talking to Weston. I want to make sure we didn't miss anybody else. I wanted to go back to something, but find it here. I'm not going to find it. Well, let's see. Brian says, I don't buy into stacking tolerance when it comes to Ancon because there isn't that many parts. Most didn't work with others. Well, I've seen it cause a lot of issues, especially back in the Polymer 80 days.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a ton of evidence out there that it's absolutely a thing. Yeah.
So you're saying it's kind of like putting a Hawaiian sweet roll on a Vienna sausage or something. They just don't fit.
Say hi to Brian. Right Thing to Do is out there. Another one of my channel members. Average Joe Arms says, I have an Apex in my Glock 19, M&P 9C, and my M&P 10mm, all over 1,000 rounds and all flawless. Yeah, the Apex is a definite good upgrade for M&Ps. Rich says, so does the Dagger and the Kiger Pro use parts that are all the same tolerances?
There's no way to answer that.
Yeah. We don't know. It's just like with the Kiger, SCT, name we've talked about a lot tonight, they actually make the frames for Anderson. Anderson doesn't make that frame. SCT is making that, which SCT is my all-time favorite Glock frame and a lot of other people's. It's been around for a while and proven to be a great frame. It's not everybody's favorite, but it's mine.
I just thought about something, because I mentioned in my frontline video about like how much stuff Anderson OEMs for other rifle companies, but then SCT OEMs for Anderson.
Yeah. The Armsman said my Zev OZ9 has tight tolerances, but I've ran over 800 rounds safe to break it in. It still has malfunctions here and there. Overpriced, in my opinion. That is a very expensive Glock clone. That thing should run like a champ. I'd be upset. So, Mark said, I'm curious with tolerances how manufacturers build and compute for break-in on tolerances. So, I don't know.
I guess I don't understand that question. What? We put that back up there?
Yeah, I don't know if he's talking about like buying a gun that they tell you has a break-in period, or
I think maybe what he's saying is, so are they maybe figuring in a little bit of wear, and once you get that wear on there, then it's right where they want it to be. I think maybe.
I think that's kind of the gist of what he's saying.
yeah.
Yeah, because a lot of barrels will have a break-in period. Absolutely. But yeah, and Abigail said it earlier about Glock triggers, like OE Glock triggers. They only get better with age. They only get better with age. I'll be the first to admit that like an OE Glock trigger is not a great trigger. It's a reliable trigger. It's a functional trigger. Works well, but it's heavy. It's not great. But you put 15, 20, 25,000 rounds on a Glock, and that thing turns to butter.
Yeah. Sergeant Joe Smith is out there. See you, Joe. And Tommy Boy has joined us. Fluffy said, I did a P80 and it was all Rocky Brass stuff out of Ohio, but used stock Glock trigger, I believe. Yeah. Well, I know, when I first got into building those a few years back, everybody always, a lot of the builders would even say, put OEM Glock frame parts in that gun. You would very rarely ever hear a guy who built a lot of them not say that, like put the Glock OEM, like P80 Ralph. He preached that in every video he did, was put the Glock OEM parts in the frame.
Well, yeah, because we knew everybody knew they worked together.
Yeah. Yep. We can start to get into this here a little bit. We'll do this. We'll get into the Grizzly here for a little bit, and then we'll do the giveaway.
That was Bear Creek Arsenal, not PSA.
Yeah, I've had both of them on my brain today.
No, right? The Defense Dad saying that the Grizzly that PSA launched.
Oh, I was doing my links earlier, and I was going back and forth from both sites. Come on, stay on here for me. Here we go. All right. So let's we'll bring this up on the screen. And we'll kind of scroll through the page here. Hopefully, it's going to be kind of hard for you guys to read this, but let me get Defense Dad's comment off there. That'll help a little bit. So they just released this yesterday. April 10th was the day you could buy this. So this is their new clone. So a full-size polymer handgun. The Grizzly has been designed and built with perfect ergonomics. Includes a 20-degree grip angle and bear fur stippling, they're calling it, with solid grip control. They did put texturing in the front for the thumb support. And so there is your price on that gun, which is, if it runs, that is a hell of a good price. Let's bring this up here.
So I can attest to Bear Creek Arsenal's Glock barrels. This is the only thing from Bear Creek I've used, but I have 4 of them. 3 of them. 4 of them. I have 4 of their stainless Glock barrels. 2 threaded, 2 non-threaded.
Yeah, they're running. You can see here they're running a stainless barrel on this one. Stippling does look good on it. Let's go to this side. Got your standard, pretty much standard Glock slide lock air, takedown levers. I do like the rail. Looks like there's quite a bit of real estate there for lights.
I do not.
You don't like the rail?
No.
Oh.
It won't fit a Glock holster because of that rail.
Oh. So you're going to pretty much have to run a light on it right now until they make holsters for it.
Or get a Polymer 80 holster. It'll fit a Polymer.
Oh, okay.
I guarantee it'll fit a Polymer 80 holster.
All right. There's that picture. So we do have texturing right here. Looks like it recessed that out a little bit too, doesn't it, Matt?
Yes, there is a pronounced thumb ledge. There is a gas pedal thumb ledge that has texturing on it. And yes, Abigail, it will fit the outlier holster as well with the correct light on it. Yeah, I do like the frame. I just don't like the pick rail.
Yeah. There's the stippling on it. A little closer up view. Then we got a video, but I don't know if we can play it. Can we play videos, Gary?
Well, you stand the chance of getting a copyright violation, but
Yeah.
What do you say?
I
Do we
wouldn't.
play it? I don't even know if I can. There we go.
The Bear Creek Arsenal Grizzly 101 is the answer to an affordable, full-size polymer handgun packed with features. Inspired by one of the most popular handguns of all time, the Grizzly inherits a legacy of reliability and performance. Yet, it carves its own path, redefining what it means to be a leading-edge firearm. Starting with its perfectly ergonomic 20-degree grip angle, the Grizzly blends a distinctive look with a loaded feature set. Its one-of-a-kind bare fur stippling and thumb support allow for excellent purchase to tame the power of 9mm.
Pause.
Like its namesake, the Grizzly
Pause.
adapts to
Pause.
every
Come on.
environment
Okay,
and
hold on. I gotta go the other
Weighs
way.
only 21.8 ounces.
All right.
Somebody needs to call Bear Creek and tell them to use somebody different for their shooting videos.
I was going to say that, and then the whole tame the power of the 9mm.
Like,
Oh,
that dude has no business being on a gun video.
oh, that was wild. Holy crap. All right, we'll go back to it.
Ounces without a magazine to lighten the load of all-day carriers. Traditionally expensive aftermarket
There he is
upgrades,
again.
such as an RMR optic cut, flared magwell, and metal photoluminescent iron sights are included stock in the Grizzly 101. The Grizzly's enhanced slide includes window cuts for reduced weight and front serrations for an additional touch point. Bear Creek Arsenal's legacy of producing precision handgun barrels extends to the Grizzly with a variety of fluted and threaded barrels available for ultimate customization. Embrace the call of the wild. Experience the Grizzly.
Can we just pick apart the video? Like,
You would have thought that guy was shooting 10mm or something there.
I mean, dude. So they put. Let me get my blue gun out because you can show those on here. So they put a thumb ledge on it for a reason, guy in the video. Not for you to shoot like this. Like the one shot where it would have been best to show the proper grip that from the top view like this, that guy's like half teacupping, you know, he looked like one of those women that get handed a 500 Smith & Wesson Magnum for the first time. Oh my God, Bear Creek, if you're watching this, you can hire me. You can hire anybody else. Like, you have a bad enough name. I like Bear Creek stuff, but you have a bad enough name already without a video like that.
Well, Tommy Boy has a good point. Said maybe they're showing you can limp wrist it and it still runs.
And the next thing you know, they'll have a naval commander up there shooting.
Oh man.
Have the sight on backwards.
Mobile Gamers Unite is out there. He bought that. This doesn't have anything to do with what we're talking about tonight, but he bought the. God, I'm drawing a blank. The Cherokee. It's made by Bull Armory. Pretty cool looking gun. He got an awesome deal on it too. So, let's see. Abigail said, I learned that my LAPG Streamlight TLR1 HL clone won't fit securely in my works holster.
Mine does.
Oh, I didn't even know they made a clone of the.
Yeah, it's the LAPG WXL slide rail. It's just like the TLR1, but it fits my Outlier holster.
Huh. Defense staff. Oh. Well, hey, we all got a good laugh out of the video. I guess somebody said out there, I must have missed that in the video. I was too into the power of the 9mm and the guy shooting the gun, but somebody said the frame looked warped too, so I don't know.
I wonder how, because
Yeah, there it is.
so I don't know if you've ever noticed this in your SCT frames, but the front here on my SCT frames is actually bowed downward.
Got the droop.
It's got a belly in it.
So when I built my Strike 80, it had that. That was a real bad problem with those when they were sending them out. And I had to take the video down off of YouTube, but I had a video on how to fix it. I took a heat gun and heated it took a thermometer and heated it up to exactly a certain temperature. And then I bent it down and let it cool, and it fixed it. It never went back the way again. But I don't think my SCT frame, well, on my Black Tiger, I don't think I have that issue, but I'll have to check my other two that I got. But yeah, the Strike 80s had a really bad one. Like it was bad. Like you could hold that up and look, and you could see that thing pitching down on an angle. So, all right. Well, it's 9:05. We better show everybody what they are going to win tonight. Let's see here. I don't want to do that yet.
God, that video, that thing's burned in my brain now. God, it's as bad as like We the People, putting those gun bunnies on there, and they're holding like pistols by the very end of the frame instead of a full grip.
Yeah. All right, tonight. This is the last one, but I think we have more on the way. You will get a Hillbilly Up, Make Someone's Day Better sticker. You will get an Adrenaline Arms sticker. This is my FFL that does all my transfers for me. You will get a sticker from Jamie, the JH586 channel. You will also get a Kiger 9C sticker. We still have a few of these left. You will get the Kiger leather coaster. We still have some of these SHOT Show 2024 limited edition stickers. And as always, you will get the Chris from the 740 patch. So that is the giveaway. So we will do the giveaway at 9:15. Make sure everybody gets their hashtags in. Can't have my gun safe, Moo. I already got stuff in it.
Or do we get to win a Glock clone?
Yeah, wouldn't that be nice? I appreciate that. Just don't. So let's not compare me to 704 though. Nutty 357 has joined the chat. What else do we want to talk about clones here real quick?
That they're not a replacement for the real Glock.
Yeah.
Man, I kind of have to disagree with you on that. I'll take a couple clones over Glock any day. I mean,
No,
just my honest opinion. For the extra money from the difference, I can, spend that same amount of money and have a way better gun, in my opinion. But we all have opinions, I guess.
Joe, we'll make that happen. I'll get a hold of you tomorrow. I'll get some stuff sent out to you. We'll do the address exchange thing. Abigail says she has some of my stickers on her reloading bench. I appreciate that.
Awesome.
What's everyone think of the new you or a dealer? Yeah, I saw that earlier today. We could talk about that here in a little bit. The new ATF rules. Gort is out there. Matt, go ahead. I didn't want to cut you off there. Go ahead and talk about why.
Why?
You said that don't think that the clones.
I just there has not been to date a clone, a Glock clone or a Glock knockoff that anybody has built and or is sold as an OEM gun that has the reliability track record of the OEM Glock. There just isn't. And I mean, everybody can say what they want. That Lone Wolf Dust 19 is a phenomenal pistol. But if I had that sitting next to an OEM Glock 19 with polymer sights and I had to go to war, I'm picking the Glock every time.
I mean, you can't really deny it either. I mean, you look how many people carry it. I mean, when we talk about law enforcement, security, military, I mean, I agree with you. It works. I mean, we know it's a reliable gun. And
is it the best gun on the market? Is the absolute? I mean, Hillbilly's right in probably a lot of senses. His dagger or whatever Glock clone he has or he has built, or what anybody else has ever built, probably does have a nicer trigger, nicer feeling trigger. Is it going to have the longevity of 20, 30, 40, 50,000 rounds that Glocks have on them? I would put money that answers no.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I see your point. Totally. And I have Glocks. Don't get me wrong. I like a Glock. But if I'm going to spend $600 on one of those, I'll buy a 300. I guess we're not supposed to talk money. Sorry about that, Chris.
well, we've been doing it all night.
I'd spend 300 acorns and put another 200 in it or whatever it takes and have a way better gun as far as my opinion. I'd be able to have a better barrel on it if I wanted to upgrade the trigger, sights. I mean, and I think when that's all said and done, I would depend on it depend my life on it, same as I would that stock Glock, I guess is what I'm saying. and I just feel like I could have a better gun for the money, But I mean, it's just an opinion, man, and I definitely am not a authority, like you guys are on these, pistols and everything.
I'm not trying to start an argument though either. Like
No,
I'm not
not
attacking.
at
I'm
all.
not
Yeah,
attacking
not
anybody
at all.
by any
Yeah,
stretch of the imagination,
agree
other than
with
PSA. I'm attacking PSA all night, but I'm not attacking anybody, here out in the chat room or anything like that. And like I said, I agree. You can build a gun that has a better trigger, that probably has a more accurate barrel. Of course, the slide cuts and whatnot, RMR, optics cut, and so on and so on and so on. Like, I totally get it, and I agree. I mean, I don't carry a stock Glock. I carry this G19 Gen 3 frame with an Overwatch trigger in it, aftermarket barrel, aftermarket slide, Holosun on it. So I'm totally with it. Like, I understand. But I did all that to have the advantage of force multipliers, of having, I didn't want to mill my stock frame. So I mean slide for an optic. So I bought a slide, right? And this is before, when I started doing that, it was before like the G47 came out, and before the 19X with the optics cut and all that, before Glock really started doing it. But that also, just because I'm doing it, also doesn't change my opinion on if I had the two side by side. I mean, if I had a completely built SCT frame, Polymer 80 frame, dagger frame, it doesn't matter. Even that Lone Wolf, like, I can't argue with objectively objectively factual, the objective history of the G19, G17 in combat, in duty use, in carry. Again, are they the best gun? No, they're not the best gun, and they are not fucking perfection.
Yeah.
But
yeah. I was just one point when you said that, like, I was thinking one thing that popped in my head. I have a really good friend of mine. A lot of you's probably seen him on my side chat, Shark Shooter. He has over $2,000 in his Glock, and he talks how much he likes Glock, but there's not one thing that's in that gun that is factory Glock other than, the outside of the frame. Everything else has been totally, redone, gone through, everything has something different in it. And so, and that's great. I mean, I'm for like whatever anybody likes. And I totally agree with the Glock is a dependable, especially over the years and everything. I totally agree with you on that part. So yeah, I wasn't trying to argue. I apologize for that if it felt like I was.
Well, I think, and I kind of have to side with Matt on this one. I don't carry my Glock for my everyday carry. I carry a SIG P365 because it just fits me better for just everyday carrying stuff like that. If I'm going to go to the range and try to shoot as accurate as possible, if I want a good range gun, I'm probably not going to grab the Glock either. If somebody tells me shit's about to hit the fan, I better grab all my 9mm ammo and a gun that I can rely on for the next few days. I'm grabbing the Glock 19 out of the safe.
Exactly.
That's just the way it is, because it's going to keep going, and it'll do what I need it to do.
Yeah, I agree. Matt, is this what you and I were talking about? The grip?
I'm getting ready to do a video on it next week, and I'm going to call it the best Glock aftermarket frame on the market. I love that frame. Yeah.
Woods brought up a good thing too here. He said there's no realistic way us normies are going to shoot 30,000 rounds out of a gun. He's saying it doesn't go 200 miles. And the reason I wanted to bring it up on the thing is because we run into that a lot. Matt runs into it. I run into it. I'm sure Gary and Hillbilly run into it. We run into this all the time where you have people in the comment section talking about, well, that gun's not going to. The majority of people, I mean, you look at the amount of videos I put out and the amount of guns that I shoot, and the amount of ammo I go through in a week's time. I may have one or two guns that are even up close to that round count. And one of those would be my competition gun, just because all the practice and all the matches I've shot with it. And it's just the thing, like a lot of people focus on this. And I've said this time and time again on the chat before. It's like, you don't have to, not every one of your guns has to be that gun. Just like Gary just said, he's got a gun for this, a gun for that. But if, there is nothing wrong with having a Glock 19. That gun's going to run. It's your shit hits the fan gun, but not every single gun in your collection has to be that gun. It's just, I don't know. I get burned up with that sometimes on the comment section. It's just like, I have guns that I just take to the range. They're range toys. That's all they are. They're not good for anything but going out and having fun with. I mean, not every gun has to be your.
There's nothing wrong with having a shiny barbecue gun at all.
That's right.
Shiny
Got them
barbecue
too,
gun.
yeah.
I like that.
Got them too.
So, like, we like shooting. Sean over We Like Shooting. He posted a picture on, I think, Instagram and on Facebook the other day, and he said it was that picture of John Daly, and I think it's the golfers. We've all seen the golfer meme, like the really well-dressed golfer, and then the one that has like a Hawaiian shirt on, smoking a cigar.
Yeah.
Right. So it was like top tier guy, budget guy, right? And my comment was, and here comes the caddy with his mid-tier rifle, knowing that budget isn't just as good, and 99% of people will never use a top tier rifle to its fullest potential.
Yeah,
because it's and this has happened to be rifle, not pistols, but the same thing goes for pistols. I mean, most people will never use a $2,000 gun to its fullest potential. And no, a $200 gun is not going to be, at least longevity wise, as good as something that's has a little bit higher grade parts in it. And I've worn out a Glock. It took almost 50,000 rounds. I wore out a Glock. It sounded like I put a bunch of empty soda cans in a metal trash can and started rattling around. Like, this thing was wore out, and the groups got big. It was almost a smooth bore. It was almost a musket by the time I got done with it. I've also worn out 2 AR barrels with a total of about 30,000 rounds. So people do shoot it, and honestly, 10 to 15 to 20,000 rounds isn't all that much if you practice a lot and go to classes. If you take 2 to 3 classes a year, well, right there's 5,000 rounds.
Mm-hmm.
It's not hard to get up to 20,000 round count if you consistently shoot, practice a lot, and get training.
Yeah. The one, like I said, the guns that I've used, and obviously I shoot a lot more rounds now than I ever did once I started doing the YouTube thing. Like that PDP Pro, I don't even know what my round count. I could go back and go through all the logs of everything and figure it out, but I know that the round count is getting pretty high on it. And my Ruger PC carbine's got more rounds on it than any gun I own, just because I've shot so many matches with it. And then that red AR that I have is, it's got a shitload of rounds through the barrel of that now. But I got a lot of guns that I don't even think I have 1,000 rounds through them yet. just because I don't shoot them that much. I just take them out for fun once in a while. Gort wants to know, I got to get to the giveaway. I know, guys, we'll get to it. He said, any of you have an opinion on Faxon pistol barrels? I haven't tried any of their barrels yet. They're here in Ohio. They make great products from everybody. I know Eagle Runs use a lot of their stuff. I think they even have their own Glock clone, and it looks like a really nice gun. They had it at AIM Day, but I'm not opposed to trying the Faxon barrel. You ever thought about trying one, Matt?
I have one.
Do you? You like it?
Not for the money. I mean,
Yeah.
so that SIG P320 that I used to have, that I had in a video that I did a bunch of Tyrant design stuff with, I sold that a couple weeks ago because it's a SIG and I didn't want it in my house. But it came with a Faxon barrel in it and a Zev slide. I kept the slide on it, pulled the barrel because I can sell the barrel for, a little bit extra money. But it was I put a $40, some cheapo $40 SIG barrel in it from some company, probably like Armor Ally or something like that. And the Faxon barrel was no more accurate than the other one for like 5 times the money.
Yeah, I haven't even priced their barrels, so I don't have any Faxon anything, I don't think. I've just talked to them at shows. They're cool guys.
I'm probably getting one for the 50 Glock and just to try it.
Yeah, Average Joe shoots a lot. All right, we better do the giveaway real quick, and then I would like to kind of get into that grip frame a little bit. I have their website up, show everybody what we were talking about because it is a pretty cool frame.
You want me to go get mine while you're doing the giveaway?
Yeah, I think we can show a bare frame.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah. If you want to do that, that's awesome. All right, let's get this up on the screen. Got 25 people entered.
Hey, if I happen to win, just redraw.
All right, we can do that. All right, here we go. Boomstick Revenge wins.
Awesome, Boom.
All right, hopefully he's
Congratulations,
still out
buddy.
there. All right, well, Mr. Bob has joined the chat. Good to see Mr. Bob. All right, Boom, where you at, man? Hopefully he's still out there. Yeah, we'll leave it up on the screen for a minute. Wait for Mac to get back, and then we'll get into this frame. I don't know. I think there he is. I was going to say, I don't think I could do a redraw on Boom. He's been too big of a supporter of the channel. I would actually text him and say, hey, man, you need to make a comment. So there he is. Congrats, Boom. Boom, if you can either text me your address or you can email me at chrisfromthe740@gmail.com. Either way, however you want to do it. But I'm going to mail that stuff out tomorrow. So if you could actually get that info over to me tonight, I'd appreciate it because I hate going to the post office and I have to go tomorrow. So Gary said, okay. All right, we'll take that down off the screen. There we go. Oh, boy. All right. I've got everything screwed up over here on my side. There we go. Got it fixed. I was about to have a meltdown there. All right. Tell me when you're ready, Matt. That way Gort can see what you got. Or whoever asked about that. I think, was it Gort?
I'm taking the TLR7X off of it right now. so you can see the whole frame. There you go.
Oh, I do like that.
Dude.
That grip
Dude.
gotta be comfortable too. It just looks like nice. Oh, look at the ledge on that.
Ambi ledges. So there's one side, the other. It's got a rounded mag release.
That's nice.
That works actually quite well. Let's see if I can... This grip texture is amazing.
It's got a lot of similarities to the. It just looks like it would feel like the PDP grip, the way that's stippled. Yeah, I'm gonna have to get one. Now I'm gonna have 3 to build now.
It's got really nice undercuts, dual undercut. That thumb ledge is phenomenal, and it fits Glock holsters.
Can you show that magwell again? Okay. Not a whole lot of a magwell there, but a little bit. Ain't it? Okay.
Yeah, it's got a little bit. It's got a little bit. It doesn't come across as a camera very well, but there's a very slight beveling mouth here on the sides, far more in the front.
Okay.
I mean,
yeah.
It's got a big ramp in the very front.
Yeah, I see that now. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and the whole. So I bought it as a complete frame. It was like $126 for the complete frame. The strip frame is, I think, $60.
Yeah, I got their website up. I was looking at their prices. Did you see the magwells that they have for them too?
They have dagger magwells.
Oh,
They don't fit these.
okay. So they're making magwells for the dagger.
Yeah. These fit OE Glock parts, aftermarket parts, and fits a Glock holster.
They even have the option to buy the frame with all OEM Glock internals too.
That's what I have here.
Yeah. Then they have one for, I would assume, their parts. And then you have the option to buy a stripped frame.
Yep. I've shot 2 of their complete guns, because they sell those slides and you can show everybody the website. Now that I've showed this off a little bit, but I've shot 2 of their complete firearms because they do the complete slides and complete frames. Yeah, that's what I got.
There's your green. This is the one I want. The gray. I love that gray. Very cool. You also have the option to get the locking blocks. They have their own, or you can get an OEM Glock one. Yeah, that is very nice looking. I love that ledge. Very cool. They just kind of come out of nowhere too, didn't they?
They released this at SHOT.
So here's their website. Oh, they have slides too.
Yeah, they have complete slides. I've shot 2 of their complete guns. I mean, you can't buy a complete gun from them, but it was their complete slide and the complete frame.
Oh man, I like that.
It's sexy, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
And see those Ys? See what looks like arrows etched into the top of the slide there? Right in front of the ejection port. See
What'd
the
you say?
design? Right in front of the ejection port, right? See those like what looks like 3 arrows
Yeah.
in the top of the slide? Yeah. That's the same pattern in the grip.
Oh, okay.
That's the same pattern that's in the grip frame, or in the stippling of the grip.
They have any of those slides that's cut for optics, or
Yes, I think they have 1 or 2, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, here I'll go.
Oh, well, they're just out of stock right now, but that one has the option. The one Chris was just on.
Yeah,
Click
you
on that
click
again.
on it, and then you can go down here to. They're just out of stock.
Oh,
There's
okay,
all your
Yeah.
options. You can also get them Cerakoted. That's pretty cool. Let's see what else we got here. Oh, they got their own magazines.
No, they're just selling Glock mags.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it. That slide is nice. So they have some other slides too. There's one option.
That's what I shot. Was that on one of these frames at the Veridian. So I went to that Veridian Weapons Tech range day up in Phoenix, and they had 2 of these complete guns there. And it was that optics cut slide right there. I grabbed it, shot it, was like, what is this? Like, I thought it was just a stippled Glock frame. And I picked it up. I was like, man, this feels good. Shot it. I was like, oh, I love that. Took a picture of it, and I had one of these ordered before I took my boots off after getting home from that range day.
Well, I remember you calling me, and we were on the phone, and you're like, Chris, you got to check these frames out.
Oh, yeah, dude.
Let's say hi to Tim S. has joined the chat. Average Joe Arms likes the gray. Yes, I do too. That would be
Fits
looks good on it.
It's not tight. Yeah, light looks good on it.
Armsman said the grip looks ergonomic.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, Joe, you should be able to use any Gen 3 part you want in it.
Mm-hmm.
Buy the strip frame.
And it's got a Gen 4 mag release, so you can go lefty with it for the wrong-handed shooters out there.
Bald. He said the biggest problem with Glock, it's not a SIG. Fence Dad said, looks from their site, you can basically get a complete gun for the price of a dagger, maybe just a hair more.
Yeah, basically. And they use solid pins. I don't know if is Dagger still using roll pins.
I don't know. I don't have a dagger frame, so
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
At one point in time, PSA was using fucking hollow roll pins for their, like trigger pins and stuff like that. So they actually use metal pins in these. And yeah, I can't. What I've been running this slide and barrel on it. And that's a fluted barrel. I just can't. I guess I could show you. No, I don't want to take the muzzle nut off.
Gary, you're back. What did you
I'll-
think
I'll
of the
show you.
great rips?
There's the barrel.
Nice.
I just can't show you the whole gun.
Yeah, it looked good to me. I just got the tail end of it, but
Yeah, I couldn't believe the prices are right too.
oh yeah.
Check my phone here real quick. I think Boom texted me. Got it.
Gary, your video's frozen, buddy.
It is.
Yeah. Hey, you holding really still.
I was holding really still. I was reading the text over here.
Now, he's definitely froze.
I froze.
Your
Oh, yeah.
video is, your audio is
Yeah.
great.
Hmm.
Unless you can talk without moving your mouth, you're definitely froze.
I'm a ventriloquist, man.
And a talented one at that.
No kidding.
Because not only is he a ventriloquist, he also impersonates statues.
You want to bow out real quick, Gary, and I'll just let you right back in?
Yeah.
All right. He's been having some router issues. He got a new router. I think he's had problems with it.
Is it like a DeWalt or Milwaukee?
Yeah. I still have the same one from when I moved in this house. I can't believe it still works. I'm not going to fix so it's not broken, though. So we moved in here and what? It's 10-year-old router.
Wow.
Yeah, Pia, I think it was yesterday. PSA had a crazy deal on a VP9.
Yeah, but then you have to give money to HK.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, Defense Dad's full of them tonight. Well, now I'm really wanting to get started on them frames after tonight, Matt. I think I'm gonna definitely have to get one of those slides. I want the frame too, but then I'm like, I've got 2 frames sitting here right now that I need to do something with.
Well, honestly, you have 2 Kiger frames. And what I would say is that you would be doing yourself both a professional and personal disservice by not allowing yourself to experience every frame that's out there.
Yeah, that's true. Hey, and it's like, you only need one slide ready to go. You can just keep swapping that
True.
slide. back
True
and forth.
enough.
That's one nice thing about that platform.
And think of your viewers.
Yeah.
Like it affords you the opportunity to notice all the buzzwords I'm using. It
Yes.
affords you the opportunity to inform viewers of what's out there.
Yeah. Oh man, that would suck, Val.
That's all right. It probably had a SIG in it, and so it's
I don't know what he's shooting right now in competition. I would probably say that's what he's shooting, but
well, no, it's a SIG. It's shooting itself. No input from Val is needed.
I don't know if I've ever showed up to a competition without stuff I needed, but I can tell you I can't count how many times I've gone to film and I'm like, I left something. That's the worst. I went.
I was
think
on the
the
way
most-
to range day this year and realized I forgot my ear pro.
Oh yeah,
Had to wear the cheapy earplugs that they gave you.
that's what I'm here for, Rich. Keep everybody broke. Well, we're getting close to the top of the hour.
So somebody asked earlier, since we're kind of not talking about Glock clones anymore, and Val had an opinion on it, as valid as any of his opinions may be. Somebody asked about AR triggers. What's your favorite AR trigger?
Mine's easy.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah. My favorite that I have is the Geisley Super Dynamic 3 gun would be my favorite trigger.
Gary?
Mine's just got the stock trigger in it. I haven't tried any aftermarkets.
Well, I'm assuming you've shot some, though, like at shows and whatnot.
Yeah, I have. I trying to think right off the top of my head what my favorite is. I just can't come up with anything right at the moment. Sorry.
Hillbilly?
I don't own any, but I have shot an AR with the trigger tech in it. Pretty sweet trigger.
Oh yeah, I
Cool.
have that too. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
What's your favorite, Matt?
The Rise Armament. I think it's the Patriot trigger is what it's called. Yep. There you go. Average Joe Arms. Yeah. Rise Armament.
Yeah, that's what I put in the Anderson. I've got one in my, well, no, I have one in the Anderson, and then both of my AR pistols, my 223 and my 300 Blackout have them. I got those on I think it was a Black Friday sale. They were down to like $99. I just ordered 3 of them because I was like, they'll all get used eventually. Honestly, I mean, for the money, I don't really think you can beat Rise Armament. I mean, especially when you catch the sales on those, they're great triggers.
And
Bought one on sale.
Yeah.
And that's where I come from often times is, for the money. So like that rifle that you have sitting on your wall right there has a
Elfman.
Elfman, an Elf tactical trigger in it. That's a phenomenal trigger, but it's also a $350 trigger, I think.
Yeah.
A $300 trigger. And I don't know that it's that. I don't know that the Elfman is that much better than the $120 Rise, right? Because like Blackout Defense makes sweet triggers, but they're also like $300 to $400 triggers or something like that.
Yeah. Trying to think what the other one. I got another one that's. I got a Hyperfire. I've got that in my another AR. I don't have enough time behind the trigger on that one yet.
You get a bag of Blackout coffee when you buy the trigger?
Yeah, Rise Armament's really hard to beat for the price. They put out some new triggers this year too that they had at SHOT Show. I didn't get to shoot any of them at range day, but the rifle range was packed. Under the pavilion, that's where they're normally at. It gets crowded in there. Black Rifle Medic wants to know, did you get the Combat Armory frame going? I think he's going to save that probably for the video.
Well, I wonder if he's talking about because I didn't know unless Black Rifle Medic was following my old Instagram account before I got banned a few weeks ago. He may be talking about my Combat Armory frame video that I did last year. And no, once I tore it apart, I never screwed with it again. It's floating around under the back seat of my truck right now on the floorboard. However, I do have a pistol, complete Combat Armory pistol that I have been screwing with for 3 months now, or 2.5 months at least. Have had multiple parts mailed to me from Combat Armory. I'm not going to get too deep into detail, but it works now. And I'm going to do a video on the whole process that I went through to get that thing to work right.
Yep. Chad Kelly is out there. Good to see you, Chad.
Hey, Chad.
Now, I will say this. Combat Armory has phenomenal customer service. Not phenomenal guns. So they better have phenomenal customer service.
Yeah, well, it's nice when they want to work with you. I mean, oh shoot, I forgot. Say hi to Walter. Walter's out there in the side chat. Good evening, Walter. Luckily, I've only had to use customer service with some companies a handful of times, but it is a nice thing when you get somebody on the other end of that phone that's willing to help you out.
Mm-hmm. And the nice thing is that they contacted me not knowing I was a YouTuber. It wasn't until my second phone call with them out of five, or maybe even 6 times I had to be on the phone with them. It wasn't until the second or third phone call that they found out I had a YouTube channel. So, and I bring that up because I've seen it in videos. I've been accused of it myself. Other companies have been accused of it, that YouTubers get preferential treatment for customer service because the companies know that it's going to end up on a video. Which is right. The only reason I brought it up. They did not know I had a YouTube channel. So that says something about their customer service.
Yeah. Uh-oh, Manny Wayne is out in the chat. All right, well, we need to work our way around the panel, do our plugs and goodbyes. Hillbilly, I'm going to start with you. We'll work our way, go from the bottom up to the top here. What you got coming up?
Buddy, just as of right now, we got Guns Beer and Therapy coming up Saturday night, 9 o'clock Central, 10 o'clock Eastern. If you ain't done nothing, swing by and say howdy to us. We just try to have a fun time there. And on Guns Beer and Therapy, we said last week goodbye to the Black Skinny Knife. So we have a new giveaway this week. So I hope everybody's going to enjoy it as much as they did the Black Skinny Knife. I think they will, but that's kind of exciting. So we'll see who the first winner on Guns Beer and Therapy is of the new knife. And then, of course, I got some stuff coming out next week. I believe I have another video on Arkin LPVO coming out, and I believe that's it, other than a couple unboxing videos as far as I know right now. So, but anyway, thanks a lot so much, Chris, for having me on here. Great show. Always enjoy it. Awesome side chat as usual. I appreciate you, buddy.
I appreciate you coming on. Always a good time, Hillbilly. Thank you, buddy. Looking forward to Saturday night. Gary, what you got coming up?
Well, we got a live stream tomorrow night, 9 p.m. every Friday, Foul Territory. Love to have everybody there. That's right after the Georgia Shooting Connection and right before Gun Website's weekly 2A wrap up. So we're kind of sandwiched in between the two programs there. So, yeah, we'll have some firearms topics, a little bit of a swag giveaway, and we'll show some corn on the screen and have some fun. Hope we could see everybody there. And great show. Thanks for having me.
Well, thanks for being on, Gary, and looking forward to watching the show tomorrow night. So,
All right.
Matt, what do you got coming up?
I talked about it a little bit earlier, but there's a couple things I did forget about, and then Hillbilly reminded me. I do have a giveaway of a Arkin LPVO, the 1-8 EP8 coming up. I also have a review of the Arkin 5-25 on my 308 coming up. One of the videos I forgot about earlier that I do have already recorded and is coming up is the Bear Creek Arsenal Cold Hammer Forge 16-inch complete upper.
Nice.
I did a first shots video, and like Chris can say, normally first shots or videos are relegated to the members of the channel. But you know, the internet is so split on Bear Creek Arsenal stuff. People saying never buy it, don't buy it. Some people saying theirs are awesome. That I didn't want a single shot to go unseen. Just because that's the level of trust that the viewers seem to have with YouTubers these days. And then of course, in the video, right. Oh no, I just did a first shots video. It's like 15 minutes. I go through 230 rounds.
Wow.
But the problem is that I did miss shots because I had one of those oops mistakes. Ran through 230, 2 magazines. Looked over. I never turned my camera on. Yeah. So, yeah. So that's that. All that's in the video. Like, oops, sorry guys. I did this, but no. It handguard came loose as usual with Bear Creek Arsenal, which everything I've ever gotten from them, is the handguard has come loose on. But if that's the worst that happens, is that I have to lock tight and tighten down 8 pointless screws, I'm okay with that for the money.
Yeah, pretty cool video. So if you haven't go check it out.
Oh, that's right. You have seen it, haven't you?
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
Well, Matt, thanks for being here, man. It was a great discussion tonight.
I appreciate it. And I'm at any time you need somebody to offend PSA fans, you just let me know. And it's all in fun, guys. I appreciate you having me on. And were you able to bore scope that BCA barrel?
I don't know. I don't have a bore scope.
Like bore scope, like look at the
He's probably wanting
lands
you
and
to look
grooves.
Probably want to see the rifling or something.
Rifling.
No, I don't do that. It works or it doesn't work. It's accurate or it's not accurate. It lasts 1,000 rounds and 5,000 rounds, or it doesn't. Like, there's plenty of people out there that get way too anal about their firearms in that aspect. I'm not one of them. I don't even clean them.
Yeah, I can attest for that. I even asked you if you wanted me to clean your gun before I sent it back to you. You said, "Nah, don't clean that thing."
No. If you want to put some oil on it, that'd be fine. I mean, put enough oil on it, enough oil and heat, and the carbon will run out.
Kyle, I want to say hi to Kyle before I give my outro here. Kyle went and watched Civil War. He said you have to go see it. So that's why Kyle was. I was going to have Kyle on the show tonight since we were talking about Glocks. I wanted him to talk about the Kiger, but we'll get Kyle back on here. So,
Geez, Kyle.
yeah, I got your text. I just haven't been able to respond to it yet, Kyle, but appreciate you letting me know. Speaking of Bear Creek Arsenal, I do also have a new upper here from them. Something you're probably not going to expect on the channel. It's definitely a different caliber than what most people buy from BCA. So it might be a few weeks before I have that come up, but I got that here. So I'm excited to get that out to the range. I released the first video on the Amend 2 mags that I got from Amend 2. The Mod C review I dropped it a few hours ago. So far, so good with everything from Amend 2. And next week, kicking off a series of videos, probably do it Monday through Friday. I'm going to be putting out little short videos of all the upgrades I did to the Frontline 16. And then the last video will be running it out at the range with all the new parts on it. So that's what I'm going to start next week. So if you guys want to know more about the Frontline 16, there will be a bunch of videos on that next week. So with that being said, I will see everybody 2 weeks from tonight at 9 Eastern. And love each and every one of you. Thanks for being here tonight. Always enjoy having everybody out in the side chat. And congratulations to Boom for winning the drawing. Don't forget, tomorrow night at 10 Eastern, Foul Territory. And at 8 o'clock Eastern, the Georgia Shooting Connection. 2 great shows back to back. Go check them out. And with that being said, say goodnight, everybody. And I will see you in 2 weeks.